PS-3 digital pitch shifter delay. Hello and welcome to Have Guitar. I hope you're doing great as always. You are most welcome to a new feature on this channel, which I've been planning or thinking about for a long time. It's called Pedal Frenzy Stomp of the Month, well, I think the title describes exactly what this is about. I was thinking I would easy up on the Kemper dominance on this channel and try to include like a review demo video of a Stomp box every month, once every month. So I really don't have any idea if I'll be able to pull this off, you know. Pedals, some of them at least, are quite expensive. My economy is not unlimited, unfortunately. But I'll have to do with what I have right now. Maybe I can buy a couple of other pedals. It's always fun to buy a new pedal. Maybe some friendly friends will lend me new pedals. Maybe some sponsor, hint hint. You can sponsor me with your pedals. I'll be more than happy to feature them on Have Guitar, to demo them and play them in my videos. So if you're a sponsor and you think that could be a good idea, please do get in touch with me. Anyway, the first pedal out this month, the first pedal out ever in this feature, besides the previous Stomp box videos that I've done, is the Boss PS-3 digital pitch shifter delay. Yeah, 2-in-1 you could say. You've already seen my silly little intro video, and that's how it looks, blue. You have 4 controls on this Stomp box. You have balance, which is wet, dry, all the way to one side. You will get only the guitar signal without any effect. All the way to the other side you will only get the effect. You will of course hear the guitar, but only through the effect, not the original signal as you play. So straight up is 50%, which means you have a 1-to-1 ratio, so to speak. Then you have 2 control buttons right here in the middle. Exactly what they do depends a little bit on which mode, which is the 4th button you have chosen. For the delay it's feedback and delay time. For the pitch shifter function you have, what do you have? You have octave and detune and a mix of those two. We'll get to that a little bit later in the video. And then you have the mode button, the button number 4. That is 11 modes, and we'll step through them one by one. I think we go up to 9 because 10 and 11 is for stereo out only. Because you do have stereo out on this pedal. I'm not using it right now because I don't have a stereo cable to hook it up to my Kemper, but that doesn't really matter. You can also switch in an expression pedal, which I'm sure is very cool, but I've never owned an expression pedal, so go figure, we won't be doing that. And otherwise, well, of course you have also jack for AC adapter if you don't want to run on batteries. I do have batteries in this one, but I'll have the AC adapter connected as well, just to make sure that it doesn't fail me midst video recording here. So yeah, I've had this pedal for a long time, since the early 90s I think. Been using it a lot, not so much lately, especially not since I got the Kemper, as we have a reverb, which in my opinion is better than these old ones, and I'll show you why in this video as well. Yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and showcase the different modes on the PS3. Alright, so for this demo I have chosen a profile from Reamp Zone. It's from the Dumble Pack. It's a clean profile. I will show with overdrive profiles or sounds as well, and I think you will know why I didn't choose that as the ground or the bass sound from the beginning. So the Dumble profile sounds like this. It's just a profile with some EQ. I've removed the reverb that was there because this is about the delay pedal. Okay, so this is mode number 1, digital delay, with a delay between 32 and 125 milliseconds. This is with both controls. Mix is 50%, both controls is set for 0. So I increase the feedback to 12 o'clock. Makes it a little bit longer. Almost sounds a little bit like a spring reverb to me. So now delay is also set for 12 o'clock. And here delay time is set for max, so that should be 125 milliseconds. Reminds me of Professor Balthasar, if you've ever seen that. But that hasn't anything to do with this demo. A little less feedback. Decrease the balance to very low, like 5% or something like that. It's a very dominant delay effect in this pedal. You have to set it really low for the echoes or the delay not to take over what you're currently playing. That is something that really differs between, I'm not sure I should say this in general, but I have a feeling that it is like this. That these old pedals, you have to tweak them a lot more to get a really good sound out of them. Compared with the Kemper, which I will demo later, it's much more like, not like it's intelligent, but it's like the delay tail gets suppressed while you're playing and becomes much more audible when you stop playing. But we'll get to that in a bit. Mode 2 is the delay as well, with the delay time between 125 up to 500 milliseconds. This is what it sounds like with controls set for 0 and balance set for 50% or 12 o'clock. So once again, you have that effect that delay almost takes over, even if it's the balance is only set for 50%. So I'm gonna tweak it a little bit and we'll see how it sounds then. Both controls set for 12 o'clock, so longer delay time and longer feedback. It's way too long. With the longest delay time, 500 milliseconds. And as for delay time, it's quite long if you wanted to keep feedbacking as long as this. I guess you get my point. It's long enough. Yeah, that's the reason why I don't like this pedal that much with overdriven or distorted sounds, because not only do you need to dial it in really low volume wise, but it's noisy. It's really noisy when you add distortion to it. I've had set it up in the effects loop on the Kemper. I thought maybe that should make some difference in the sound, that it would be less noisy in some way. It's not, I can tell you that. This is why I chose a clean profile to demo the PS3 with. To get back to that thing I said about the difference between vintage delays and more modern technology-based delays, and how the delay tail shines through or not, and how it's handled. This is the PS3 with, it's still mode 2, and balance is set for 9 o'clock, so 1/4 approximately on the balance. I'll play some chords and some tones, and then we'll switch for the Kemper, where I've dialed in the single delay with the roughly the same settings. The balance is exactly the same. So the PS3 sounds like this. As I've said before, and you probably already heard, it's very aggressive, very in the soundscape of what you're playing. A little bit too much in the way, as you need to, I don't know, you need to dial it in really, really low to have any real good use of it, unless you want that effect, of course. So this is the Kemper with the same settings, single delay, sounds like this. Mode 3 is also digital delay, and it has a delay time between 500 and 2000 milliseconds. Balance is 50%, and the controls are set for 0 currently. So this is the delay time set for 12 o'clock, so it should be 750 milliseconds, I think. Longest delay time is this. Never mind, so that's the delay. It works really well with clean sounds. As soon as you add some overdrive, it doesn't work that good. It becomes really noisy, as I've already said, and doesn't really compete, at least not for me, with the built-in delay of the Kemper. Mode number 4 is a single pitch shifter that creates a detune effect. This is, I think, the one mode that I've almost never used in this pedal, with this pedal, because to me, no matter how I try to tweak it, it just sounds, either it doesn't give any good effect at all, or it sounds like crap. I'm sorry to say, but that's the truth. So this is with both controls set for 0. Balance is, okay, balance will stay at 9 o'clock. And if you increase the feedback time, it creates a really weird effect. Well. Feedback at full volume or full setting, They are here. Well, okay, so maybe you could use it for effects in a space alien movie, I don't know. Now I have both controls set for 12 o'clock. I don't know, that detune effect, it's really nothing for me, so I think that's all I'm gonna showcase of this. Number 8 is double this, but sounds much better actually. So mode number 5 and 6 are two similar modes because they are both pitch shifters, plus minus 2 octaves. Number 5 is the fast version, that means that it responds quicker, but the pitch is less accurate. Number 6 is the slow version where the pitch is more accurate. And this is a clear pointer that this pedal isn't made like yesterday, I think. Because those kind of problems, well, you can have latency in a modern pedal as well, but this is kind of ridiculous. I mean, you want a good pitch and you want good latency. You don't want to have to compromise between those two, right? But I'm going to give you a few examples. Yeah, so let's head on and do that. It kind of gets worse as you go to the lower tones and sounds slightly better higher up on the fretboard. That's not an uncommon thing with pitch shift effects when you go down, that it gets like all flubbery when you go down on the lower tones, but so let's try that with the slow but more accurate number 6 and see how it sounds. Exactly same setting but with number 6. Sounds like this. Number 5 with the high pitch. For being the fast version, it's not that impressive with the response time or the latency between you play and when you hear the real pitch. So here's mode number 6, the slow version, remember? Exactly the same settings. Mode number 7 is also a pitch shifter, plus minus 2 octaves, but inversed as they call it in the manual, and that is reversed really, a really strange effect. Another one of those that I think came up at the drawing table. What modes are we going to have? We need to have more. What are we going to do? Something innovative, something fantastic, inversed, yeah. But it's yeah. Maybe you can use it for effects, you know, if you do that kind of recordings, I don't know. To me it's not that great, but to each and every one his own. Isn't that what they say? This is what it sounds like with both controls set for 0. As you can hear, it's the low octave, but it's been reversed, so I think you have even more latency. And even more strangeness. It's like somebody playing the bass inversed behind you, out of tempo. It's really hard to make any use of that, at least if you play as you usually do play, but... Oh, I give up. I don't have any idea how to use this. Maybe you do, and then that's good for you. Here's mode number 8, which is dual pitch shifter. It's Detune and Detune, so it's double up compared to number 4, which I already mentioned, I think. So rather than being twice as bad, this is double as good, I would say. Actually, for some reason, I don't know. More than detuning, which is the major key factor maybe to why I don't like number 4 as much. This one can act more like a chorus, which makes it the third effect really in the pedal. Not even announced in the title, right? So this is what it sounds like. Both detune controls set for 0. That's not too pretty, right? So let's tweak that a little bit to see what we can get instead. Now I've set control number 1 for 11 o'clock and control number 2 for 1 o'clock. Then we get this effect instead. So there you have a nice chorus effect. Sounds really good to me. So the last mode out in this demo is mode number 9, which is dual pitch shifter, detune and ±2 octaves. So let's have a look, listen and be amazed about how that sounds. Both controls set for 0. Sounds like this. Both controls set for 1 o'clock. Alright, so that was the first Pedal Frenzy Stomp of the month here at Have Guitar. The Boss PS-3 digital delay pitch shifter. It's an old kind of vintage, well, I'm not sure if we can call it vintage, but it's an old pedal, but I've still seen it used on both eBay and Reverb for around 100 euros, which should equal roughly 120 or so US dollars. So they must be sought after by some people, I guess. It's not a totally useless pedal at all. Rather, it's very useful, especially if you like more clean sounds. Now I only showcased the delay with overdrive, right? And that's it. It is very noisy. It's very noisy. It's very dominant. It takes over the soundscape. So you need to lower the balance down to really, really low and fine-tune that, tweak it to your liking, to something that sounds good, that doesn't disturb what you are currently playing for anyone who is listening. And the same goes for the pitch shifter. Now, first of all, the pitch shifter is not really up to par with today's modern technology, I would say. Not sure what you're saying, but that's my saying. And that is also one thing, that if you add overdrive to that, it sounds better with the lower tones, the bass tones or the bass tones. But when you go up in pitch to the higher tones, it gets really screamingly loud, noisy, disturbing, very unpleasing for your ears, I can promise you that. I should have given you a couple of examples of that as well. But I think you heard it in the delay already, how noisy it is. And with that really high pitch, it's even worse. But with that said, the pitch shifter, well, it works fairly okay when you run clean sounds, I would say. It's not a disaster, far from it. But there are modern pedals that do it a lot better. And it doesn't have... One thing that I know I was kind of disappointed with when I got this digital pitch shifter. I thought, hey, I'm gonna get both the pitch shifter and the delay in one pedal, because I used to have an analog pitch shifter, and they are really cool. I just want to tell you, those old analog pitch shifters, they would just switch around all of a sudden when you were playing randomly and just start screaming, which could affect, or rather it could give some really nice, surprising, weird, far out effects when you were playing solos. So I know I used my old analog pedal together with a wah pedal, and you go, you know, with the wah, you go wow when you bend up, and then it goes whoa. It's hard to explain, you gotta hear it. So I've actually been thinking about getting me a new analog pitch shifter, just to have that crazy stuff available whenever I feel for it. But with a digital pitch shifter you don't get that. It follows you pretty much whatever you do. I heard there was a little bit a hint of something going weird when I played some chords. I'm not sure. I'll see if I'll include it in the video and point it out if it's really there. Could have been me imagining things again. Do I often do that? Well, it happens. No, really, but no, I think that, I don't know, to be frank, I think that from a pure functional technology perspective, time has run away from this pedal. But it's still useful, especially if you like the kind of sounds that it produces, and maybe you want that kind of noisy delay tail when you're playing for some specific reason that I don't know. So I'm not gonna bash the pedal or say that it's bad in that way. It has its character, and I mean, it's a blast from the past, right? It's not like today's technology, so that it is what you get. That's it, really. So with that said, I think that concludes it all. I've been thinking about selling it, so if you're interested, you can always contact me, right? And you, yeah, I'm talking to you there in the corner, yeah. If you have any connection with pedal manufacturers, please do get in contact with Have Guitar, because I would love to showcase your pedals here on Have Guitar. You don't need to give them to me, I can just borrow them and send them back, whatever deal you want. Because as I've said, I'm not made out of money, so it'll be a hard deal trying to keep up with this new feature, but I would love to be able to do it, so I hope so. Please do get in touch with me if you have any connection to the pedal industry, or whatever you call it, I don't know. I hope that you like this video, and if you do, I would very much appreciate if you subscribe to the channel to support me, Have Guitar, and the things that I try to accomplish here. Together we can reach greatness. That's what I heard from a gnome. Sorry, now I'm just babbling away again. So stay well, be safe, and play really hard until the next time, alright? Goodbye!